Have you ever thought about selling your stuff at a craft show or a flea market or a fair? Welcome to Think Woodworks. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build a rotating display really inexpensively, and it's pretty cool. Alright, to make our display spin, we're going to need to pick up a rotisserie motor for a grill. And these things are all over the place. You can buy them on Amazon, eBay, the big box stores carry them. I even think Walmart carries them. But what we need out of it is the rotating motor. And on most of them, if they have what's called a reversible motor, so if it hits a stop position, it'll go back the other direction, which can add a really cool feature to our display. When you're doing wood veneer and you want to get all those corners nice and neat, now when you're just putting the veneer on one surface, a flush trim bit is great. You can go around those edges and clean it up and then sand it down. But when you're meeting veneer to veneer, if I have this veneer sticking past and I want to cut this off, I don't want to really use a flush trim bit. 9 times out of 10, that flush trim bit's going to cut into that face veneer just a little bit, and when you're only dealing with a 32nd or a 64th, there's not a whole lot of margin for error. A better way to do it is just to get your veneer where you want it, and using a sharp knife, go along that edge and cut that veneer off, being sure not to cut into the veneer below it. When I've got a veneer hitting a finished veneer edge, I like to just take a screwdriver and kind of run it along that surface, and I make sure I get my glue right out to those corners, and that really gives that surface a nice contact, a nice edge. And then I'll come back with a sanding block and just sand those, whatever excess is left, whatever little tiny bit of excess is left, I'll just sand that off. I'm not going to use a mechanical tool. You can use sandpaper or a nice file and just clean that edge up. And if you do it like that, you're going to get those almost invisible edges. And a lot of times, unless you're really looking at it, you'll never know. Okay, there you have it, a rotating display. You can set your work on if you're doing bandsaw boxes, or you have a small bowl or vase, or pretty much anything you can think of. Now, of course, you don't have to do the old gear thing. It can be done in any way. You know, use your imagination. The rotisserie motor in this is working really well, and what I like about this is I can put a stop position on it by just making one gear a little too big or whatever, and it stops it, and then it goes back the other direction. And that's why I like using a rotisserie motor. Now, when you go to the fair, you're not always going to have power, so a rotisserie motor requires 110 power. But there are some battery powered rotators that are available on the market. This is called the Pumpkin Master. This is why you can pick this up at I think Home Depot carries these, or you can get them online on Amazon. They're about $10, $12, and they work great as well. They're actually pretty strong, about 10 or 15 pounds these will hold up to, and they make great little rotation displays if you have something that you want to rotate. So if you want to build a rotation display and you don't have the option of 110 power, you can just pick up a battery operated one. These take 2 C batteries and run for about 8.5 hours on 2 C batteries. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and if you know somebody that could use this, share it with them. You never know, it might help increase their sales a little bit. Thanks for watching.